Have you been thinking about starting your own journey into becoming a published author and a speaker and a content creator and sharing your voice and your message with the world? Awesome. I'd highly encourage you to consider this path because I have found it to be so fun and fulfilling and exciting and meaningful to be able to have ideas that I can share with other people, strategies for successful living or growing a business or being successful in career, and being able to help people along their journey with your knowledge, your wisdom, your insights, your perspectives, your life lessons that you've learned over the course of going through the tough things that you've gone through, the failures, and also the successes and the achievements that you've experienced. So I want to encourage you to go down this path of publishing a book. I know that you'll find it fulfilling and exciting like I have, like so many others have. But before you write even a single word of your very first book, I want to help you to know what the potential pitfalls are, what the traps are, the mistakes, the biggest mistakes that you could possibly make so that you, number one, don't make the mistakes, and number two, can accelerate your success and experience even more of what you're looking for from becoming an author and a speaker and a content creator faster. How do I know the mistakes? Because I made every single one of the 15 that I'm going to share with you when I wrote my first book, Attract Your Potential. And so because I went through this process a few years ago, which, by the way, took me 8 years, that's right, 8 years from the moment I decided, you know what, I really want to publish a book, to actually publishing this book, 8 years. And so if I can equip you with knowing what those mistakes are so that you can avoid them when you get started and know what they are on the front end, then you're going to be in a much better position than I ever was, or for anyone who doesn't know these 15 mistakes, so that you can move yourself forward even faster and reach even more people with your ideas, your insights, your wisdom, your knowledge that you want to share in your book. So, without further ado, let me give you the 15 mistakes that you must avoid when publishing your very first book. Or frankly, avoid these for any book, but if you haven't written one yet, this video is definitely for you. Mistake number one. And by the way, with 15 mistakes, I haven't memorized them, and I want to give you them in a particular order, so that's why I'm reading them here. Here we go. Mistake number one. Not starting with the end in mind. You know, when I wrote my book, Attract Your Potential, I was just like, man, I really want to publish a book. I want to get it out there. I started with the beginning in mind. I was like, what do I need to write the book and outline the book and publish the book and all these things? But I didn't really think about, what does the book lead to? And so if you're writing a book because you want to be an author and a speaker and a content creator, maybe you want to build an online business, you got to know what the book leads to. So if you don't already have in mind what the book leads to, then you're not going to be as successful with launching the book. Now, the reality is if you don't start with the end in mind, you can still reach people and improve lives and change lives in a really positive and exciting way with your book. But if you really want to build a business around it and you really want to help even more people and you want to scale to even higher levels and reach more people and impact more lives, you really have to start with the end in mind. You have to know, what is the book leading to? Meaning, is it to other services or products or programs or a call with you or to more of your content or other books that maybe you have published if this isn't your first book? Like, what does the book lead to? Someone reads the book, now what? Because if someone reads the book and they're done and there's no other way to engage with you, you've missed an opportunity to impact that person's life at a deeper level. So start with the end in mind. There's so much more to get into there, but for now, I just want you to know, start with the end in mind. What does the book lead to? When someone's done reading the book, what happens? Where are you guiding them? Where are you taking them on their journey for whatever your book solves, whatever problems, whatever solutions you bring to the table? Mistake number two. This is a big one. Not knowing or choosing one big idea or payoff that someone gets from reading your book. So, to be fair, like, I'm really proud of my book. I've had people who've been so inspired and encouraged by this book and convicted by some of the ideas, like, man, I really need to be thinking about that. But there's lots of stuff I talk about in this book. And for example, like, I remember I spoke several years ago. I spoke for a company in Colorado to about 30 of their leadership, 30 people that had leadership roles, managers. And I remember I finished the 2-hour workshop, and the feedback one individual gave was, JJ knows a lot. And like, it was nice of him to say, and it like was kind of encouraging. I was like, proud. I was like, cool. Yeah, I know a lot. But like, when I dug into how I perceived it, I was like, wait a second. I think what he's saying is I shared a ton in the 2-hour workshop. It wasn't laser focused on what is the one outcome, what is the one pain point that I'm solving, or what's the one payoff that someone gets from going through this 2-hour workshop with me. And the book works the same. Like, what is the big payoff someone gets from reading the book? I'm so proud of this book. It's my first book. It always holds a special place in my heart, and I want to get in the hands of more people because I know it can impact lives. But the problem is, it's kind of a general business or general personal development book, which is cool, and there's lots of stuff in here for beginners in personal development, even for seasoned personal development folks to get new insights and perspectives. But like, what is the one big idea? Now, to be fair, and there's another mistake that I made in this book that's going to align with this, but to be fair, the concept of the book is become the best version of yourself so you attract more of the right people to you to open up more of the best opportunities. Because if you want success personally and professionally, life or business, you got to have the right people in your life. Like Jim Rohn said, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And everything you want to have, do, achieve, create, and accomplish in your life will happen by working with and through other people. So, attract your potential simply means become the best version of yourself so you start attracting, magnetizing the right people to you to open up those opportunities for business opportunities or partnerships or selling or sales or friendships or relationships of any kind. That's the idea of the book. But so it is a big idea in a sense, but it's not like a very specific one big idea, one big payoff that you get by the time you're done with the book. So it's lots of general knowledge, insights, and information, which are great and awesome. I'm so proud of it. But what's the one pain point that you're solving with your book? What is the one major payoff someone will get when that person finishes reading your book? Mistake. So know that on the front end. Start with the end in mind. What's the big payoff? Mistake number 2. Mistake number 3. People make the mistake of thinking they need a 200-plus page book so that it seems substantial and seems like a real legit book. Like, my book is 215 pages. I don't think there's a lot of fluff. Like, it was 20 to 30% bigger than this when I wrote the first draft. I cut a lot of stuff out. I cut out an entire chapter that I was excited about. I was like, it's a little bit of fluff, not fluff, but didn't really make the cut, if you will. And so I find a lot of people like, oh, my book needs to be 200 some pages to be really seen as a book. But the reality is, if you have one big payoff, your book can be 40 pages. Your book can be 70 pages and still make a massive difference in people's lives. As an example, here, I'm going to share hang on, ready? These are 2 really powerful books. Actually, there's a third one down here. 3 of the most powerful books that I love reading and referring to, that I gained so much value from. One is As a Man Thinketh. This is a tiny book. This is 24 pages. Yep, 24 pages. It's a tiny book. I highlighted so much in this book because everything in this book, virtually everything in this book, has purpose and serves great value. It's a tiny book, and yet it sold millions and millions and millions of copies, and people talk about it all the time because it is so powerful. Another great book, The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. This book is a total of 42 pages. I've got so much highlighted in this. It's simple, but it's profound and it's powerful, and it's a tiny book. Another book that I love, How to Break Free of the Drama Triangle and Victim Consciousness. This book is 79 pages. 79 pages. This book is full of great wisdom and perspectives for having better, more effective relationships in life, for thriving as a person. Those 3 books are outstanding. Those didn't need to be 200, 150, 200, 300-page books. It's so easy as a first-time author to feel like, well, for someone to really take me seriously as an author, this book has to be thick and substantial. I even remember someone told me, well, you need your book to be thick enough so that you can put the title on the binding. It doesn't. None of these books have any text on the spine of the book. And they're powerful books. Don't feel like you've got to write a certain length of a book to make a book powerful and impactful for the people you're meant to reach. Mistake number 4, not having a post-launch marketing and promotion plan. So many people, there are people that are like, oh, I've got a promotion plan, how I'm going to launch it, what I'm going to do. And then nothing. After 2-3 weeks, nothing. I launched the book. Woohoo! Hopefully people buy it. There's no actual ongoing promotion or marketing plan in place. They're just excited that they launched the book. Don't make that mistake. Mistake number 5 is tied to number 4, which is people make the mistake of having a 2 or 3 week promotion mindset instead of a 2 or 3 year promotion mindset. I encourage people that write a book to play the long game. Play the long game. Do you know how many books you're going to sell in your first year compared to the books you sell in your third year or could sell relative to the first year you published the book? So many more. If you have a great, going back to mistake number 4, if you have a great long-term marketing promotion strategy and you work with the end in mind, you could sell lots more books in year 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, a lot more than you sold in year 1. But if you only have a 3-week launch mindset instead of a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year mindset around promoting the book, you're not going to sell as many copies. You're not going to reach as many people. You will not make the same impact. Mistake number 6, not getting early readers who give feedback and testimonials. This was just I can't believe I had the idea that I should, but I never did because I gave myself a deadline and I got so close to the deadline I didn't have. By the way, also my second child was being born right the week or two before I published and launched the book. So that was there too. But my point is, when you get people to read your book before you launch it to the world, now you have feedback. Number 1, you can make any changes and refinements based on the feedback you get. But number 2, if people love it, they're like, this is amazing. They can give you testimonials, and testimonials are the number 1 way to get other people to read your book. Mistake number 7, not building a launch team. Literally a team of people that will help you tell people about the book. These are probably folks that read your book early on and people that are your friends or close colleagues or partners in business and other kinds of ways. Like people that can be part of a team that you get together and you say, let's get this book. Let's announce this book to the world. Let's publish this. Let's promote this to the world. And they help you. That's what a team does. A team helps you win. And when you get a team of people that can help you promote your book, you will launch it so much further faster than if you try to do it on your own. Don't make that mistake. Mistake number 8, wanting to share everything you know in your first book. I gave this example earlier, but I'm like, man, I know so much about personal growth and development. I've been studying it for 23 years. I want to tell everybody everything I know. But that's not the point of the book. The point of the book is to solve a problem or give a specific payoff. And if you share everything you know about the topic that you know about, then you're not solving a specific pain point. You're just giving a lot of information. Listen to me. This is important. As your coach right now in this moment, your book is not made for the purpose of giving all the information possible on the thing. Your book is created to solve the pain point or give a payoff that can positively impact and change someone's life. So don't feel like you got to put everything you know in your first book. You can write 2 books or 5 books or 24 or 36 books. You got time, friend. You got time to write more books on the different areas of things that you know about things. All right, mistake number 9. Mistake number 9 is thinking that publishing is the victory. Think like when you publish your book, like, woo, the work is done. No, friend. That's the starting line of the marathon of getting your book into the hands of the people that you are meant to reach with your book. It's the starting point. That's it. So if you think launching and publishing the book is like the end-all be-all, I really want to encourage you to rethink that. Because what you have to know is that's just the front-end work. Like that's the ice at the bottom of the iceberg. Is that what they say? The below the water. Like there's a lot more to the iceberg. Like you're looking at the tip of it. You think that's success. Reframe that mindset. Success is the ability to get the thing you produced in the hands of even more people over a long period of time, not the publishing of it. Mistake number 9, thinking that friends and people who know you will automatically buy your book the first time you tell them about it. 3 years after I published my book, I had a client that I talked with like every month. 3 years after I published the book, he's like, or 2.5 years after I published the book, he's like, oh yeah, didn't you publish a book? Someone told me about that. Like, yeah. He's like, oh, I think I should get it. I was like, you should. I published it 2.5 years ago. I told you about it 2.5 years ago. People that you tell about your book one time won't necessarily buy it because they have other priority. It's a priority for you. It's not a priority for them. Even if they're a friend or family member, a close person that works with you and you know really well. Like, I think about the book down here, Thinking Fast and Slow by Dr. Daniel Kahneman. In his book, he has this great quote. He says, what you're thinking about is not as important in the moment that you're thinking about it. Like, how do you say it? What you think about is never as important as when you're thinking about it. So like what I mean by that is your book that you write is super important to you because you're thinking about it. To other people, it's not as important because they're not thinking about it all the time. But because you're giving so much of your mental capacity and energy to that book, you think the world is revolving around your book. And that's good because that means you care about it, but other people don't necessarily give it that level of attention and energy. So just heads up, fair warning, just because you know it's important and you're launching and it's all you've been thinking about for years, it's not everything everybody else is going to be talking about and thinking about. So make sure you remind people about your book early and often. Mistake number 11, trying to be cute with your title. So I love my title, but like I kind of have to explain it sometimes. So I'm like, it came from different inspirations, and I'm like, attract your potential. Like, if you want to tap into your greatest potential, you got to attract the right people to you. So you've got to attract people to you to get to your potential. It's attract your potential. I love the title. I'm proud of it. I'm excited. It's my first book. But if I could go back, I'd probably title it something that's not cute, not creative, but really concise and very clear about what you will get. What's the big payoff that you get from reading the book? Mistake number 12. Similar to mistake number 10, but mistake number 12 is thinking people who buy your book will read the full thing and then tell everyone they know about it just because they know you and like you. So like, even if you tell someone one time, I give the example of someone 2.5 years later, it's like, oh, you have a book? Yeah, I should buy it. Like, even for the person that buys it the first day it comes out, if they know you, like you, trust you, it doesn't mean they're going to read the whole thing immediately or ever. Maybe it just means they bought it because they want to tell you, hey, I bought it, I want to support you. Doesn't mean they're going to read it. And even if they read it, doesn't mean they're going to love it or have their life changed by it, because it might not be for them. They might have just bought it because they care about you. And so don't assume that just because someone you care about bought your book is going to all of a sudden like promote it like crazy and tell their friends and family all about it and post it all over social media. Like, you got to write a great book that changes lives of the right people that you're meant to reach. And then people will talk about it. And then secondly, on top of that, you got to be telling people, or asking people if they find value in it, please share it out. Or if you write a book so good, you won't have to say anything. They will just talk about it because it's so good and actually changed their life. Mistake number 13. We're almost there. Hang on with me. Mistake number 13. Writing a book to try and help everyone. You're like, oh, I've got it stuff. Kind of back to like, don't write a book that shares all the information you have. Don't write a book that's supposed to help everyone. Like, oh, if you are breathing right now, this book is for you. That ain't going to change lives. The more specific your book is and the more of a specific audience it is for, the more impact it will have because it's made specifically for a specific person. So if you've got lots of people you want to reach, focus on one segment of all the people you want to reach. If you're like, I want to help everybody that's alive today, start with the people that are very specifically facing a specific problem or challenge or have a dream or desire that you want to help them get to or avoid if it's a pain or problem, by reading your book. Don't write a book for everyone. Be specific. You will reach more of the right people with it. Mistake number 14, forgetting that the book is a product. Like, your book is a product that you are here to sell. That's why you need to build a business around it. That's why you need to think about it as a book business, being in the book business, being an author who wants to sell books so you can reach people, serve people, help people with the book that you create. And what I also mean by remember that it's a product is that you want to make your products that you create and produce and put into the world as amazing as possible. Because as Seth Godin talks about in his book, Purple Cow, you want your book or your products to be remarkable. You want people to talk about your products, your book in this case, because you want it to be so good that they can't help but share it with other people. And so remember, you are making a product. Make your product the best it can be so that people will talk about it, share it, and get it in the hands of even more people. Finally, and hang around because I'm going to give you something even more valuable after mistake number 15. Mistake number 15. Not building a business around your book. I kind of mentioned it, but the reality is if you want to sell more books, you need to make it a business. You need to make it your business. You need to get into the business of being an author, speaker, content creator, making videos, making content that can attract people to you. And you can say, hey, if you love this content, go grab a copy of my book over on wherever you sell it. Or you can do a free plus shipping offer with your book if you're into the funnels and stuff like that, which I think is an important thing to get into if you are an author and a speaker and want to build a business around your book, which again, you should, because that if you genuinely care about how your book can help and serve people, you must build a business around your book. Don't just launch it and think people are going to read it and it's going to be so cool. It's going to be on Amazon. Amazon is going to tell everybody about it. Amazon ain't going to tell everybody about your book, friend. You got to build a business around it so that you can have the profitability around it so you can serve even more people by building that business around it. And by the way, I'm going to have an upcoming free training to help you get started in the business of being an author and a speaker and a person of influence in the world so you can use your voice and your message and your life and the wisdom and knowledge you have to help even more people, the people you are called here to reach. So go into the description of this YouTube video, click the link, go over to the landing page, sign up to join me live. I mean live, not like fake live. People say, oh, I'm live. Like, I will be in the Zoom room with you on this training that's upcoming, and I look forward to serving you and helping you answer any questions you have about any of these mistakes or anything else as you're thinking about and contemplating and moving towards writing and publishing your very first book to reach and serve and help the people you're meant to reach. Because, friend, if you're still watching this video, it means you know there's something inside of you. You know you're destined to be a person of positive influence. You are here to make a positive impact in the world. You're here to positively change lives, and you can do that certainly by writing and publishing a book, by becoming a speaker and a communicator and a person of positive influence. Friend, if you've loved this video, please comment below and let me know what you loved about it. Let me know which mistake you liked most, or that you're excited to overcome, or that was most helpful. Or let me know what's the book you're going to write, what's your game plan. Tell me anything about your book that you're looking to publish or thinking about writing and publishing, or any questions you have about this as you're going to publish your book. I'd love to be able to serve you, get in the comments with you, answer your questions the best that I can. And if you've loved this, subscribe to the channel and look for other videos, probably the one that's right here on the screen right now. Friend, until next time, whatever you're going after, refuse to settle for anything less than your greatest potential and just keep going. Great things are happening. You got this.